In response to COVID-19, PSP is offering telefitness to Canadian Armed Forces members. By using social media platforms, the telefitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Prior to participating in this session, and to make an informed decision on whether you should seek advice from a qualified exercise professional or healthcare provider, consult the Get Active Questionnaire of the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology and its reference document by clicking on the links below. By continuing with this telefitness class, you understand that there is a possibility of physical injury and you agree that you do so voluntarily at your own risk. You also assume all risk of injury and agree to release the Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services from any and all claims related to your participation in this telefitness class.
Hi everyone, welcome to Flexibility Mobility Fusion. My name is Anita. I am a fitness and sports instructor here in Garrison, Petawawa. Today's class is going to be a mobility class primarily for the upper body. So we're just going to relieve any tightness or sore spots you may have, as well as increasing that range of motion on the top. I will say you will need a yoga mat, a lacrosse ball or a mobility ball, and some water. If you don't have a yoga mat, that's okay. You can substitute a blanket, or if you have a rug at home, just use that area. And I will not actually be playing any music, just so that you guys can actually hear me. So if you'd like to put on your favorite relaxing playlist, feel free to do that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Alrighty everybody, so let's get started. So you're just gonna start by crossing your feet. We're gonna have our hands out like so, so the palms are facing up. And from here, we're just gonna close our eyes and just focus on our breathing. So elongate that spine, stand up nice and tall. Chest is opening up towards the sky. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Each time you inhale, try to get a little bit taller. And as you exhale, just let everything go. I want you guys to forget about everything that's stressing you out today. If you have lots of errands to run later, think about that later. Don't think about that right now. Just focus on yourself, what you're doing right now. Each inhale versus each exhale. See how long of an inhale you have versus how long of an exhale you have. We're just going to try a few breathing techniques here. So as you're sitting up nice and tall with your chest up, you're going to inhale for 4 counts. So hold it for 4. And exhale for 4. We're going to do that 3 more times. So just keeping your eyes closed. We're going to start our 4-second inhale. Hold. And exhale. Okay, 2 more. Hold. Exhale. And last one here. So sitting nice and tall, inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale. Alright, just start wiggling your bring some life back. And your toes that are under your knees. Okay, place your hands beside you on the ground. First with your hands flat against the mat. Then rotate them so that the back of your hands are on the mat. Now you're just going to move side to side slightly. Switching again so palms are flat against the mat. Okay, from here we're going to extend our legs out. You're going to cross that right leg over so that your foot is resting against the outside of your left knee. And then just rotating the upper body. So using the elbow against that right knee to press through. Okay, inhale through the nose. And as we exhale, we're going to try to rotate a little bit further. So pushing our arm against our knee. One more. Good. Remove that hand, place it back down. Extend those legs, get some movement going. And now the left side. So cross that left foot over, resting on the outside of your right knee. Bringing the arm across. And then using the resistance, so pushing from your elbow towards your knee and rotating left. Inhale through the nose. And as we exhale, we're going to rotate that a little bit further. Bring those hands back down. From here, we're going to turn on to our front side. So getting into a tabletop, meaning hands are planted underneath the shoulders, and then our knees are about hip width apart, just underneath our hips. And then your legs can be resting like that, or like this. I'll let you guys decide. From here, we're going to do some cat and cow, just to warm up our core. So as we inhale, we're going to bring our vertebrae up one at a time, towards the sky, looking down, almost like a scared cat. And as we exhale, we're going to allow the belly to fall a vertebrae at a time as we gaze up at the sky, or ceiling in our case. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, allow the belly to fall. Inhale. Exhale. All right, 2 more times. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, allow your belly to fall towards the ground. Bring your gaze up. All right, last one here. Inhale, bringing the belly button towards the spine. Taking a look at the back of our feet here. And then dropping the belly down. Alrighty, from here, we're going to cup our right ear with our right hand. And we're going to bring our elbow to the opposite elbow, nice and slowly. And then we're going to open up our chest towards the opposite side of the room, still cupping that ear, and then bringing it back to the opposite elbow. Inhale, open up. Exhale, allow your elbow to come to the opposite one. do 2 more here. And last one. And close up. All right. Just let your body move for a second. And rotate. So hands are placed palms to the mat, and then the backs of the hands to the mat. Forward. Rotate them back. All right, we're going to reset and do the same thing on the other side. So cupping that left ear with the left hand, bringing that elbow to the opposite elbow. Inhaling, opening up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it across. Do about 3 more here. And last one. All right, place those hands down. And we're going to do a little bit more wrist work here. So just rotating the wrist so that the palms are against the mat, and then the backs of the hands are against the mat. Perfect. All right, next what we're going to do is going to go into what they call a cobra. So resting just on the feet, or if you can leave the knees on the ground too, that's completely fine. We're just going to open up the inner core here. So gazing up, and bringing it back. So just pushing the bum back, reaching our hands forward, and then bringing it forward once again, opening up the abdomen. Again, if you can rest just on your feet, that's ideal, but nothing wrong with staying down. Pushing the hips back once again. Bring it forward one more time here. We're going to go ahead and get into our high plank. So hands are planted just underneath our shoulders. Our feet are coming up into that high plank. Core is nice and engaged. And from here, we're going to press our hips back and up. Getting back into that downward dog. You can start to pedal the legs if you'd like. Get a little bit more flow going. Dropping down to the knees, pressing back. Okay, going back into our downward dog. Bring it forward from here. Knees are going to come to about the outside of your mat, and then toes are coming together. From here, you're just going to press your hips back and down, and then walking your hands out so that you get into a child's pose. So you'll feel a nice relief in the low back. Rest your head on your mat if you'd like. And just focus on your breathing for the next minute. Trying to reach your hands away from your body, so stretching your spine out. Trying to feel nice and long. From here, you're going to come out of this pose quickly. Just give your body a little shake. Okay, this time when we go down into this pose, we're going to walk our hands over to the right side so that we feel more of a stretch in that left lat. So just on the left side of your back there. So again, your knees are coming apart as your toes stay together here. Pressing back into that child's pose. And then just begin to walk your hands over to the right side. And you should feel a nice stretch on that left side there. Just stay in that pose while I just grab some water. Nice and slowly, you're going to start walking those hands back to the center. And from here, we're going to go to the left side now. So walking the hands even more. Feeling that nice stretch in the back of the lat here. And just sinking into this pose for another minute here. You're focusing on that breathing, making sure you're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Releasing that tension that's been weighing you down for the last few days. And nice, slowly, just going to walk those hands back to the center here. And bring yourself back up. Alright, from here we're going to move on to a T-spine rotation from the knees. So back into that tabletop position. So hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath the hips, and then the feet are either flat or your toes can be up, completely up to you. From here, we're going to bring our right foot to the outside of our right hand. And we're going to open up towards our knee. So rotating and bringing that arm extended fully to the sky. And on that second exhale, I'm going to rotate a little bit further. Good. Place that hand back down, bringing that knee back where it was, and I'm trying on the left side. So bringing that left foot to the outside of the left hand and rotating that upper body towards the knee. And on that second exhale, you're going to rotate a little bit further. Perfect. All right. We'll go back to the right side. Okay, reset. Bring that left leg up. Open up towards the knee. All right. All right. So you have two options for the next three we're going to do per side. We're going to do it in a little bit of a progressive way. So if it's uncomfortable for you or you just can't do it, just stay with what we were just doing. So stay from the knees. If you would like to try it this way, you're going to hop into a high plank. So hands again are planted underneath the shoulders. Feet are planted firmly into the mat, and then our core is engaged. You're going to bring that right foot to the outside of the right hand again. And then from here, we're just going to keep the knee up and rotate towards that knee. Good. Place that hand back down, step that right foot back, and on the left side. Open up towards your knee. Perfect. We need two more per side. So whether you're on your knees or in the plank, completely up to you. We're going to do two more. Opening up towards the knee. And second exhale. Perfect. All right, and finishing up with one more per side. See how far you can rotate on that second exhale. Perfect. And last one on the left side. All right. So you can go ahead and, if you'd like, grab some water first off. But you're going to go ahead and lie down on your back on your mat. So lying on your back, extending your legs out so they're resting on the ground. You're going to bring that right leg up, and you're going to rotate it. So grab your left hand to the outside of that right knee and rotate the hips that way. And then this right arm is going to extend fully, and you're just going to bring your gaze towards it. With each time you exhale, you're going to try to bring your shoulder blades into the mat. Because if you're like me and don't have the greatest mobility for this, your shoulder blade's going to want to come off. That's why we have our hand out, taking a look at it, and really thinking about bringing our shoulder blades into the mat as we're rotated with our hips. It's super important to make sure you're focusing on your breathing as well. Not only when you're working out, but even for this kind of class. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. All right, nice and slow, you're going to bring that knee back up. Extend your leg. Give it a little shake. This time we're going to bring that left knee up, taking our right hand to the outside of that left knee, extending our left arm out to the side of us here, and then just rotating the hips, trying to keep the shoulder blades on the ground, and then taking our gaze towards that opposite arm. And notice with every exhale, you'll want to try to bring that shoulder blade back down to the ground. Having that gaze on that actual extended arm will actually help you to really think about pressing that way. Alright, bringing that knee back up. Knee coming back up to standing. I'm going to go ahead and grab the lacrosse ball that I mentioned, or the mobility ball. Any ball that you have on you today. And then we're going to hop up so that we're resting actually on our belly buttons. Not on the belly button, you know what I mean. So resting on your belly. You're going to find that spot where your pec muscle, so your chest muscle, and your, I guess you could say, shoulder meet. So almost like that little armpity area just above. And that's where your ball is going to start. You may need to try out a few times, see what spot works for you. This hand can be resting in front of you. If you want to keep your head on it, completely up to you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start with our hand down here. So you're going to face down, obviously. You're not really going to feel too great if you're trying to extend your arm that way, but we're going to face our palm towards the floor, and you're just going to slowly try to make a snow angel. So you're going to be hovering over the ground the entire way until you get to about overhead, or as far as you can go. And then you're going to bring it back. So notice how slow I'm going. So that is your snow angel. So we'll do a few on this side and we'll switch over to the other side. So now if you'd like, place your head down. So make sure you're relaxing your head. And just start hovering the floor and making a snow angel with that hand. one more on this side before we transition over to the opposite side. So last one here. Go ahead. I'm just going to switch sides so you can actually see me. But you guys just need to switch the arm you're working. So again, lying on your belly, finding that spot. If you need to move around, find the real trigger point. That is completely fine. Alright, we'll try 5 on this side as well. You may notice one side is a little bit tighter than the other. That is completely normal. Just something to work on. You got 2 more. Going to remove the ball as you don't need it anymore. Hope that gave you a little bit more room in the chest. Okay, next what we're going to do is a thoracic sweep with a reach. So what that looks like, so we don't knock anything over, you're going to lie on your side. Let's start on our left side. This can either have one leg straight and have the opposite one on top bent if you'd like, or both bent, completely up to you. I'm going to start with both bent. So my knees are going to align with my hips, and then ankles are aligned with my knees. We're going to stack one arm on top of the other. This top arm is going to reach forward as far as you can before you start to just hover and sweep the floor around you. Once you get overhead, you're going to flip that palm up so it's facing the ceiling, making your way all the way around, nice and slowly, before you come to your reset. At your reset, you're going to press a little bit further, so reaching forward as far as you can, and then starting again. And remember, as soon as you get overhead, that palm is flipping up so it's facing the ceiling. We'll do about 5 per side. Here on our third one here, reaching forward. Getting started on this last one here. Make sure that your knees are staying stacked where they are. Okay, reaching as far as you can. And then exhaling as you start to sweep the ground around you. Flipping that palm up. And coming all the way back around. or switch sides. So again, my knees are aligning with my hips and my ankles are aligning with my knees. My hands are stacked on top of one another. And now that left hand on top is going to sweep forward. And begin your sweep all the way around, nice and slow. Flipping that palm up as soon as you get overhead. Coming all the way back to start. And reaching forward a little bit further than last time. Reaching forward. Palms facing up. Alright, and reaching forward for that last one, as far as you can. Begin your sweep. Flip that hand up. Back to start. Alright guys, next what we're going to do is go ahead and get into that tabletop position. So hands are underneath your shoulders, feet are about, I'd say, hip width apart underneath the hips. From here, we're going to take that left hand, we're going to reach underneath. Okay, that right hand is now bent, the elbow I should say is bent, and you're going to use it for stabilization as you're reaching through and looking at that left hand. Bring yourself back up to that standing position. Taking that right hand this time and reaching under. Again, that left elbow is now bent, holding you there in position, and your gaze should be at that right hand. Bring yourself back up. Going back to that left side again. So reaching under, trying to rotate that upper torso. Your palm is facing the ceiling. I want you to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Two more breaths here. And last breath. And bring yourself up. Rotating that right hand over to the left, twisting. And trying those 3 breaths on this side. So inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I'm going to do one more time on each side. This time I will add something to see if anybody wants to give it a try. It is a little bit harder. I'm not even very good at it, but I will show you guys anyways today. So from here, you're gonna reach under like you were just now, and you're gonna rest your weight on that arm. So on the shoulder, you're gonna try to just open up. And if you can only get to here or to here, that's okay. That's just something if you wanna work on. If not, keep that hand where it was and just stay in this position. I'll hold this for 3 breaths. So inhale. If you need to put that hand down, feel free. And last breath here. All right, coming out of that one there. Now we're going to bring that right hand out underneath and rotate to the left. So opening up if you can. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Okay, last thing we're gonna do before we do our last pose. We're just gonna go back into that child's pose. So extending the arms out in front of you. You're gonna walk your hands to the right. And to the left. Back in, just to the center here. Sink in as deep as you can. Allow your upper body to just fall in between your knees. Okay, bringing it forward. Opening up the abdomen area, so looking up at the sky. Alrighty guys, the very last thing we're gonna do is with the wall, or you can just lie down in corpse pose is what they like to call it. So just lying down on your back, allowing your feet to fall to the sides and your palms out. Or you can do this one, called legs up the wall. So, getting your bum as close to the wall as possible, you're gonna extend your legs straight up. From here, take your left hand and place it on your chest and your right hand on your belly. And for the next few minutes, just to end off our class, I want you guys to focus on your breathing. So like we did at the beginning of class, we're gonna inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 4 seconds. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold it, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do this a few times. Just want you guys to feel that right hand that's on your belly. I want you to feel it rising as you inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to feel all that air leaving your belly. So if you'd like to close your eyes and just focus on that 4 to 4 count breathing, just relax our minds. Think about what the rest of your day is going to look like from here on out. Are you going to accomplish everything you want to accomplish? Are you going to start that project that you've been wanting to start? Are you going to get in a great workout later today? Or is it just this for today? like you guys to have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming and joining me for this mobility class.